Our latest tipping survey found a good deal of discontent with the current state of tipping in America. We found that 2/3 of US adults have a negative view of tipping. And that's led by the 41% who say that businesses should just pay their staff better rather than relying so much on tips. 32% are annoyed with those pre-entered tip screens that are popping up at coffee shops and food trucks and elsewhere. 30% say that tipping culture has just gotten out of control. Remember during the pandemic when a lot of people said that they would become better tippers? Well, that hasn't lasted. We've seen a noticeable drop in recent years in terms of how often people are tipping and also how much they're tipping. Sit-down restaurants are an interesting example. Right now, only 65% of diners are always tipping the waitstaff. That's actually down 12 percentage points from 4 years ago. The amounts are down too. Right now, only 44% are tipping at least 20%. Last year, that was 50%. And believe it or not, restaurant waitstaff actually have it pretty good compared to other service industry professions because we see more people tipping at restaurants than we do at other places like hair salons, for example, or for food delivery, or ride shares and taxis. Only about a quarter of people always tip the hotel housekeeper. So really across the board, I think there's a lot of room for improvement. I think technology is changing tipping in a big way. These pre-entered tip screens do work. Starbucks says about half of its customers are tipping when presented with one of those. But people are also saying they're annoyed about it. And I think this tip creep, coupled with high inflation, is giving tipping a bad name. I don't think you always need to tip when you're picking up a simple coffee order or takeout food. I do, though, think that we should be tipping 20% for things like sit-down restaurant service and getting your hair cut. And I think we should be tipping a similar amount for things like food delivery and taxis and ride shares as well. I didn't tip the self-checkout machine at Newark Airport that asked me for a tip. I think that was a pretty crazy example of tip creep. But I do think that a lot of service industry professionals rely on tips. So tip generously if you can.